Dalvin Cook a full workload today, and after a few weeks of rest, Cook told me, I'm ready to go against the Saints' 4th-ranked run defense. My legs, my mind, mentally and physically, I feel better, Cook said, adding that based on what he's seen on tape, I think we can pop some runs on him. Let's go outside to Kay Adams.
Top 10 rush defense. The Vikings boast number 4 run defense, the Saints versus that top-ranked offense. So let's get the party started here in New Orleans. Vikings coming to town. Kirk Cousins looking for his very first playoff win. Steve Smith, Maurice Jones-Drew joining me. Drew Brees wants his 9th playoff win, and he wants it right here.
Yeah, well, for me, the Vikings, if we're talking about the Vikings and we heard Tom Pelissero talk about Dalvin Cook, it all starts and ends with him. He has to be able to rush for 150 yards. He has to have those big plays. They have to get that running game going, because once he gets going, all of a sudden, Steve, you know it, the receivers are seeing one-on-one coverage. There's no 2 safeties back that you don't have. Your quarterback doesn't have to read these crazy coverages. He can just play faster. So if Dalvin Cook can get going, then you expect Kirk Cousins to play faster. Stephon Diggs have big days. Adam Thielen. You need runs like this here that we're seeing against the Packers. This nice 75-yarder that he took off and took to the house. If he can do that, the game is his.
We haven't seen him since December 15th. Maybe there's some rust to deal with, but also this is a defense that has not allowed a 100-yard rusher since 2017, since Samaje Perine did it. So I don't know that he'll have that success here in this loud atmosphere.
Well, this loud atmosphere will do 2 things. It will make a team either ascend or descend. But when we talk about both of these teams, one of the big concerns I have is both of these teams in the last couple of weeks have shown that they can strike fast and quickly. However, they're both built on play action. Whoever can run the ball more effectively and allow big explosive plays and explosive runs. Both of these teams are built on the play action and the play design. How are these defenses going to handle the different looks that they will receive? Will they make adjustments, and will they make adjustments quickly, or will it take them a quarter or 2 to make all those adjustments? And that is the big key thing that you have to see that we saw last night by both of those teams that won and lost last night.
There's so much to break down in this game. How does one stop Michael Thomas? Will Xavier Rhodes show up? Will it be good Kirk Cousins or bad Kirk Cousins? So much more here from New Orleans, where we're getting the party started, but we'll send it back to Rich.
Well, speaking of parties already started in Philadelphia, Kay, your colleague from Good Morning Football, Kyle Brandt, this week did a great Wolf of Broad Street video that wound up in my timeline 15 different ways. He said Doug Peterson needed to unleash his inner Wolf of Broad Street to motivate the Eagles before today's game.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. Yeah! The show goes on. The playoffs are my home. They're going to need a wrecking ball to take me out of here. They can send in the Seahawks, the Saints, Shannon, the freaking National Guard, because we ain't going nowhere.
Oh, baby. Well, you're going to have to bring that outdoor voice, Alvy.
Weekend in the NFC brings us here to New Orleans. Welcome to Game Day Morning. My name's Kay Adams. Maurice Jones-Drew is here, and so is Steve Smith Sr. and several fans already here. We have the Vikings represented, and of course, some costumed Saints fans. Guys, I'm going to ask you a really tough question. We had the pleasantries, we said hi, we had a nice breakfast. I got to ask you, how do you stop one Michael Thomas? 149 receptions. He takes the record away from Marvin Harrison. I'm looking at you, Steve Smith, because Xavier Rhodes has not been playing up to snuff.
Well, Mike Zimmer called out Xavier Rhodes several weeks, a couple of months ago, and guess what? He didn't get the memo. It's not working. It's not happening. Almost 84% completions.
Completion percentage against. It's the highest among all qualified cornerbacks.
After the night, hell, it might be 86%, because you can stop him for a play or 2, but the man has caught 149 receptions. You're not stopping him. He lines up all over the field. One of the things Michael Thomas does is line up at X on the left side. Xavier Rhodes doesn't have 721 snaps. He's only lined up on the left side very few, less than 100 times. Michael Thomas has lined up 444 times on the left side. So why is that a key number? Because if you are not having good success this year, and you're going to line up on the side that you haven't lined up very well against a guy who's balling,
Right.
it's not going to fare very well.
Yeah, no, that's football math. That means it's going to be a long day. But I'll give you a little bit why I think they may be able to slow down Mike Thomas.
Safety over the top?
You got to have a safety over the top. But if you're Xavier Rhodes, you have to be physical at the point of contact. When you line up, you got to be impressed, man. You got to get your hands on him. You can't allow Mike Thomas to get off these free releases, to do all these things. You got to pretty much get after him early. I hear DB coaches say, do your work early so that you can have fun late. Having fun late is allowing Harrison Smith to get those interceptions on overthrows or different things thrown off the timing. That is the only way, because there's only one receiver on the New Orleans Saints that's going to get the ball. And yet no one has been able to stop him.
He's a first-team All-Pro. He's been doubled week in, week out all season. I will say, if they do have to go to other pieces and somehow Xavier Rhodes has a career game, we know he has it in them. He's been an All-Pro in the past. You've got other guys. You do have Alvin Kamara. He's turned it up the last 2 weeks. 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Also, Jared Cook has really been great. They've been 5-1 over their last 6 games. He has 6 receiving touchdowns in that time. So he's a guy that's clearly stepping up to plate when it counts. Momentum is a big thing here. Drew Brees, 15 touchdowns, 0 interceptions over the past 4. Is right. More from us here in New Orleans. The big easy, not easy for the Vikings to shut down Michael Thomas. Ian Rappaport's joining us with